Welcome to Eric and Horror Stories. I'm just doing some decorating here, and look, got some ink for Christmas. About time. Oh, and I got a doll. Look, it's beautiful. It's... Ah! Creepy doll! Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Welcome to Eric and Horror Stories Christmas Day edition. It's Christmas Day, but you get the present. But first, a question for you. Did you ever want a doll when you were younger, or maybe even now? A lovely doll, maybe a Barbie or a G.I. Joe or a Bratz or a Marvel hero or a Monster High or a WWE wrestler or an American Girl doll or a Transformer. Well, I had dolls, lots of them. Brats. But now that I'm older, I have a more refined taste, and I like my dolls creepy. In particular, I go around to thrift stores to look for the creepiest of dolls. Such as this one we saw earlier, the creepy clouded over eyes and the old dirty dress. Yes, I like using these things in my photography. This one-armed, pale-faced babe here, something a little wrong with one of her eyes and her feet. Yes, lovely. This one's always been my favorite. That soulless expression. And that little bit of cheekiness. Naughty girl, naughty girl. Oh, that's probably not legal. Anyway, here's one more. My Buddy. Huge mega hit back in the 80s and 90s. This one's kind of dirty and smelly. I probably shouldn't be doing that. Does this look like anybody, though? Does this look familiar at all? I think it probably does. Those are some of my creepy dolls, but today we're not going to talk about my random stuff. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history of the doll, and then we're going to talk about famous dolls, both real and fictional. Which ones are cool? Which ones suck? Today on Eric and Horror Stories, I get all dolled up to talk to you about dollies. Since there are opinions being given here today, I must give you the YouTube disclaimer that so many people do when they're doing opinions. The opinions expressed on this channel are my own thoughts and feelings and may not be representative of your thoughts and feelings. And just because your thoughts and feelings are wrong doesn't mean you get to take it out on me. This is my disclaimer. Alright then, let's start with a history lesson on dolls. Dolls have been around for thousands of years. In fact, in 2004, an estimated 4,400-year-old stone doll was found in the Mediterranean era. Boy, that thing must have been fun to wave around. Ancient Egyptian culture, many examples of rag dolls have been found. And all across the world, there have been many examples of stick, rag, porcelain, and vinyl dolls found throughout time. Basically, as long as there's been people and kids, there have been dolls. And along with that, over time, have been people who have a fear of dolls. Way before Hollywood started pushing this notion of emotionless shells filled with evil. There's even a diagnosis for people who are scared of dolls, and that's called pediophobia. These people may be on medications or even take therapy due to their fear of dolls. And boy, would they be afraid if they saw some of our real-life examples I'm about to tell you about. Dolls in reality that are haunted and scary, maybe. Haunted? I don't know. We'll do a whole episode on what I think of haunted things in the future. Sure to rile some of you up. And also, fictional movie dolls. Are they really scary? Which ones are kind of cool? And which ones can I do without? We're going to delve into all that right now. And we will start with real dolls. Not those kind of real dolls. There's the sex ones. And then I'm just talking about dolls that exist. Even though sex dolls exist. But I don't know anything about those. Okay, so real life dolls. We're going to get right into these. And most of these are in museums and considered to be haunted attractions. My favorite of which is Robert the doll. And it's also my daughter's least favorite. My daughter does have pediophobia, which we just discussed a minute ago. Or perhaps she just has Eric phobia from living with me for most of her life, which is probably just as traumatic as a scary doll. Anyway, Robert resides in a museum in Key West. He's a cute little doll with a sailor suit. Not exactly like this one, but just to give you an idea of this fella's pretty creepy looking, but he's not a spirit Halloween doll. He's an old doll kept in a case, and he's supposed to have caused all kinds of misfortune over the years. He moves around. They hear him making noises. Supposedly he giggles. And a lot of people have had accidents and misfortune after visiting Robert. Supposedly, if you're not respectful when you visit Robert the doll, something bad can happen to you. So if you do see Robert in his little sailor suit, tip your hat to him, say good day, sir, and then move along. And as we go along, as you just saw a minute ago with the picture of Robert, I'm going to try to provide you with pictures of all the dolls I'm talking about today. And there's other real life ones too that are all kind of similar in terms of they're supposed to move around, they're in museums, they're generally scary, and crazy things have supposedly happened with all of them. And some of those dolls are Mandy, Ruby, Charlie, and how about Annabelle? That's right, Annabelle. And this is the doll that the movie used a version of. However, the real life Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll. She is indeed in the Warrens Museum as shown in The Conjuring, the Warrens being real people. And you can go visit Annabelle. Annabelle is in a case that I believe says, positively do not open. Is supposed to be the scariest thing in the Warrens Museum. However, is she as scary in the movies? Well, we're going to discuss that in a minute. Before we get along to fictional / movie, TV, whatever dolls, I do want to talk about the one place on my kick the bucket list that I hope to go to before I die, and that is the Island of the Dolls. Oh man, this place looks so cool. It's around Mexico City somewhere. I don't know exactly where to tell you. This isn't a geography show. And you can only get there by boat. But it's become a big tourist attraction. This fellow started putting all these doll parts and pieces over the island to honor a girl who drowned nearby. And now it's just a crazy tourist attraction. And tourists are encouraged to come leave some little doll pieces of their own. I mean, look at this place. Look at it. I hope, I dream that I get to visit the Island of the Dolls one day. Maybe I'll stay. Maybe I'll just sit there and play with the little dolls and just have the best time ever. I really hope so. Oh, I got so excited I forgot. We're getting on to movie dolls now. So let me collect myself and we'll discuss those. All right, so movie doll time. When I was thinking of what to put on this list of dolls I wanted to talk about, I started thinking of something interesting. Frankenstein's monster. Is Frankenstein's monster a doll? I kind of think he is. He's a doll sewn together out of real people parts, but in the end, he's a doll until he comes to life. And this begs the question, what is actually creepier? A creepy doll or the person who made the creepy doll? Is Frankenstein's monster a doll? Is the Bride of Frankenstein a doll? I think they are. And I give them an A on my grading scale. Second, Talkie Tina from the Twilight Zone. We've moved ahead in time a little bit, still in the black and white era though. Talkie Tina, one of the earliest examples of a Hollywood creepy doll I could think of or find on the brilliant, still holds up today Twilight Zone. I liked Talkie Tina so much, I'm Talkie Tina and I don't like you, that I have her immortalized on my back as part of my huge Twilight Zone back piece, which actually covers my entire back. So I'll show you a picture of that right now. Then we'll zoom in and show you a little Talkie Tina immortalized forever on me. Trick or Treat Studios, as a side note, produces fantastic masks, usually based on movie or television characters. Is making a life-size, says all the same things Talkie Tina says doll, and I can't wait to see that. It's like $300, but boy, it's going to be hard to pass up being able to say, I'm Talkie Tina and I hate you. And it's not the same when it's just my hand. I'm Talkie Tina. I'm Talkie Tina. I'm going to keep this in, but I'm really a maniac. All right, so Talkie Tina gets an A. Twilight Zone, amazing doll. Talkie Tina. Poltergeist. We'll jump ahead into the 80s now. Remember the creepy clown doll in Poltergeist? Kind of moved around. Really scared, was dragging the little boy. Not super prominent in the movie, but so memorable. Such a creepy, lasting image there. The Poltergeist doll, I don't give an A because it didn't have enough screen time, but I do give it a solid B. Not a Talkie Tina A, though. All right, let's move ahead to a super famous, maybe the most famous, reminiscent of this guy, derivative of Talkie Tina, I think, Chucky from Child's Play. I gotta tell you guys, you're gonna hate me for this, but I don't get Chucky. I mean, if you watch it purely as a comedy, I can dig it. I like the gore and the fun and all that, but if we're considering Chucky as a legitimate scary character, it just doesn't work for me. It's a beloved, iconic character. I know this. And Chucky is very funny. But scary, I'm astonished that there was a whole franchise born out of this character, honestly. And I'm giving it a C. And the C is based purely on the staying power of Chucky. Chucky just doesn't really work for me. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Let's move along to the Saw movies and Billy the Puppet, kind of the symbol of Jigsaw. I don't know if Billy's supposed to be scary or not. He's certainly cool. He's a little creepy. He doesn't do very much except to wheel in and kind of wheels in. But I give him a C. He's cool looking. He's got a bitchin' ride. Billy the Puppet from Jigsaw. I give him a C. Now we've moved along to Annabelle, the movie version. Alright, so could they have gone more overboard on how they made Annabelle look? I mean, honestly, the real Raggedy Ann one has a subtle creepiness. I think all the best scary dolls do. They're subtle. Annabelle is as subtle as a heart attack. Why would anybody own this doll? It just looks like somebody tried too hard to make a scary looking thing. I mean, I can't imagine any little kid would be like, I want Annabelle. You know, I guess it's fine, but I don't get Annabelle, and I give her an F. The movie version, I don't find her interesting enough to watch the movies. I think Chucky kicks her ass all day, which is saying something because I don't like Chucky that much. So I know, I suck. I don't like Chucky or Annabelle, but what you gonna do? So, that's a little brief synopsis of dolls and the ones I think are interesting enough to talk about, both real life and fictional. Regardless of doll phobias and what Hollywood's done to their image, dolls are still like an outrageously profitable industry. I think that was a 2013 survey of people and what they find creepy, and they found people that collect dolls to be super high on that list. However, based on the amount of money the doll industry makes, there's a lot of you creepy bastards out there. So, you know what? Keep buying those dolls. I will too. I'll keep buying these dolls. I'll have lots of buddies. I love buddies. Won't you be my buddy? I'm Talkie Tina, and I'll be your buddy too. That's all for Eric and Horror Stories Christmas Day edition. Hope you had some good eggnog and some good bourbon in it. Next week is New Year's Day. Look at all these holidays that fall on the days of my episodes. Friday the 13th, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Arbor Day, hopefully. Next week, in honor of it being New Year's Day and the start of a new year, I'm going to talk about horror throughout the years. Horror. From the 1920s forward. 100 years of horror. What each decade had that stood out. What were the things going on in each decade that helped form the movies that were produced in those years? We're going to talk about all that. Where have we been? Where are we going? Have enough eggnog and you won't care. See you next week on New Year's Day for Eric and Horror Stories. Merry Christmas edition. It's Christmas Day, but you get the present. But I'm asking you and you answer me. I'm not asking the answer. Since there are opinions being given today,